This is the Light Phone 3. Premium build, beautiful design. A phone that promises to give you your life back. It's a digital detox and people genuinely love it. But it has one major problem. It freaking costs $700. I mean, come on. So I've been trying to get my hands on the Light Phone 3 for a while now, and I didn't manage so far to do so. And I've been reading so much about this phone, which looks super interesting. So while I wait to get my hands on the phone, I want to use this opportunity to talk about something bigger than just one phone. How dumb phones become luxury items, whether the price is actually justified, and whether you even need one at all. So let's start with the bigger picture, because the Light Phone 3 isn't alone in this. I've reviewed phones like the Monitor Compact, the Minimal phone, both around $400, the Punkt MP02, $350, and now the Light Phone 3 for $700. Look at how these are marketed. Premium materials, intentional design, crafted with care, la-di-da, and every website looks like it's selling you a luxury watch. And by the way, many of them do also sell watches, but anyway. Beautiful people in beautiful minimalist spaces holding beautiful, simple phones. This is minimalism as aesthetic. Minimalism as in lifestyle brand. And this is kind of part of a bigger trend, I feel like, because minimalism now is something chic, something luxurious, something the wealthy people can afford. We've created this world where simple now equals expensive, where having less is the new luxury, and modern dumb phones kind of fit perfectly into this narrative. Because when you make digital minimalism expensive, you kind of create a status symbol out of not using technology. Let's be honest, like if this phone costs $700, then pulling out a Light Phone 3 is kind of a status symbol compared if you were like to use an old $30 Nokia, so to speak. Because for example, I reviewed the Punkt MP02, and to be fully honest, this phone was cool. I liked the phone, but I thought the price wasn't justified. For me, I wouldn't buy it personally, and I compared it all the time to my $30 old Nokia that I have somewhere here. This thing costs 29 euros or so, and it does everything that the Punkt MP02 does, and most dumb phones, so to speak. And many people commented under my video that, and even were really defensive, like, yeah, I don't want a cheap dumb phone, I don't want a stupid cheap Nokia, that looks shitty and stuff like that. I want something premium, I want something that looks good, that feels good, I want something that shows premium. And I thought, okay, that's fair. If you can afford it, then of course, why not? But still, that got me to understand that there is a market for premium devices, even with dumb phones. But here's what kind of bothers me about this trend. For those of us here in Western countries, so to speak, in Europe, in North America, in Australia, whatsoever, $700 definitely is a lot of money, but you can somehow save up to it. I mean, iPhones nowadays cost $1,500 or so. But let's zoom out for a second, because $700, that's the same or even more than a monthly wage in Kazakhstan, Brazil, or Egypt, for example. So when companies make digital minimalism into products that cost $700, and it's not just a luxury for people in Western countries, but it's completely inaccessible for people in other parts of the world. So we've kind of gentrified digital minimalism on a global scale. This is where I actually thought I would rant about how unequal and unfair everything is. But then I actually dug into the numbers, and I have to be honest with you, because it's kind of more complicated than I thought. So let's talk about whether the price for the Light Phone 3 is justified or whether it's just a luxury markup. Okay, let's break down why the Light Phone 3 costs $700. And let me be clear, I'm using the Light Phone 3 as an example here for calculations. I'm saying this because I don't know the exact factory prices or production costs. I mean, like, because I'm just Michael. But I can give you a feeling for what the baseline looks like and what you have to factor in. So let's just look at what the Light Phone 3 has. The Light Phone 3 has a Snapdragon 4 Gen 2 processor, 6GB of RAM, 128GB of storage, 3.9-inch matte OLED display, 5G connectivity with dual SIM, a camera with lots of megapixels, I don't know, NFC, removable battery, IP54 water resistance. So having all of this in mind, let's look at how much it actually costs to make any phone whatsoever. This is the baseline you can't avoid. So let's start with what's inside a typical smartphone. A display, like for example an OLED with touch, will cost you anything from $35 to $90. Processor chip, especially nowadays, somewhere between $25 to $80. RAM memory, 8 to 18. Storage, $10 to $25. The camera modules are somewhere between $15 and $45. The battery is another $4 to $10. The main board and all the small chips, power management, sensors, wireless, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, 15 to 40, and the list goes on and on and on. The actual body, frame, back, glass housing, 8 to 25, connectivity parts, antennas, SIM tray, USB port, you name it, 2 to 6, speakers, microphones, haptics, 2 to 8, packaging and basic accessories, 2 to 8. So just the parts alone, that's roughly $126 to $855, depending on the specs, of course. And still, that is not all, because we have the manufacturing costs. We have the assembly labor, which is like $3 to $10. We have testing and calibration, which is $2 to $7. We have defects and rework, which is $2 to $12, which is another $7 to $29 per phone. And then the overhead that most people forget about. Tooling costs like molds, jigs, fixtures to make the phone, $1 to $6 per unit. Warranty provision for returns and repairs is like $3 to $15. Shipping to warehouses, $2 to $10. Software licensing fees up to $10, which is another $6 to $41 per phone. So the total production cost per phone for a low-end build is around $150, a higher-end build around $425. And this very much is also what reality kind of looks like. Budget phones are around $100 to $200 and premium phones start at $300 to $600 to produce. So a phone with Light Phone 3 specs, OLED screen, 5G modem, decent camera, probably costs somewhere between $200 to $300 to actually produce. And the weird thing is you could buy like some random Android phone for $200 to $300 in the store, which would have the same specs, so to speak. So the $700 still seem to be kind of weird to me. So what else factors in? First, we have scale. Because, for example, Apple or Samsung, they ship tens of millions of phones per model. The Light Phone, not even close, because when you manufacture millions of units, you get massive volume discounts on components. Those $35 to $90 displays, Apple might pay $20 because they're ordering 50 million. When you spread your costs around millions of devices, per unit costs drop dramatically. The Light Phone doesn't have that. Every component costs them more. Every manufacturing step costs them more. And this is something real. Small batch hardware is generally more expensive. Number two, the location of course matters. For the Punkt phone, for example, it is that they nowadays produce everything nowadays in Europe. They're based in Switzerland and they move their complete production from Asia to Europe. That alone makes things so much more expensive that I understand why costs are higher on these devices than with other ones that are produced in Southeast Asia or whatever it is, because of course there the labor prices are way lower. So it's kind of more complex than I actually thought. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's the business model. Because think about airlines for a second. They all do the exact same thing. They get you from point A to point B, but they have completely different business models. For example, in Europe, I can fly from basically any point in Europe whatsoever for about €9 from that point to London. It's like the law of Ryanair. It's basically the same everywhere in Europe. So let's say Berlin to London is $9 with Ryanair. With Lufthansa or Turkish Airlines or Emirates, it suddenly will be 100, 200 or even 600 euros for the same flight for 1 hour that takes me from Berlin to London, but now with a drink and a packed meal. Same destination, same basic service, widely different prices. Why? Because they're targeting different customers with different strategies. So let's look at this Nokia for $30, for example. This is like the Ryanair of dumbphone, so to speak. It costs $30. It does everything that the other more expensive dumbphones actually do. It has bare minimum features, lowest possible costs whatsoever, and you're just paying for the essentials and nothing more. This is what's called a no-frills approach. But companies like the Light Phone, Punkt, Modido, they're going for a completely different strategy. They're the Emirates of dumbphones. They're targeting the premium luxury segment. And here's the thing, from a business perspective, this makes total sense. Because as I said earlier, what astonished me is when I talked about the Punkt phone is that there are literally so many people that want premium, that want a premium device, that don't want a cheap looking dumb phone, although it does everything that the premium one does. For reasons that are widely different, they want the premium luxurious version. And companies of course understood that. They deliberately don't even compete with $30 dumb phones like this, but created their own market, which weirdly is now the luxurious dumb phone market, as the Light Phone 3, for example. Because they know that there are customers that will willingly pay $700 for something that this $30 phone does as well. It sounds really absurd, but that's just what it is. It's a business model and I don't know. The Light Phone, for example, or Punkt aren't trying to be the cheapest option. They're not even competing with Nokia. They're positioning themselves as premium lifestyle products and there is a market for that. So is it justified? From a production cost perspective, probably not entirely. Even accounting for small batch manufacturing and European production or whatever there's still, I think, a significant markup. From a business model perspective, absolutely. They identified a segment willing to pay premium prices and position themselves there. But here's my problem with this. Just because it's a valid business strategy doesn't mean that the outcome is good for the world. When you make digital minimalism a premium product, you're saying this solution is for people with disposable income. I don't want to rant about like economics and stuff and capitalism. That's maybe not the right video for that, but I understand that prices and economics are complex and stuff like that. But the university student drowning in Instagram anxiety and smartphone addiction can't afford it. The working parent in India or Brazil can't afford it. So even though I understand the business logic, even though I understand why they price it this way, the result is still kind of problematic. Digital freedom becomes a luxury product. And honestly, that kind of bothers me. So if you're finding this breakdown interesting and want to see more videos about that, on how to be less on your phone and digital minimalism, then make sure to subscribe. It really helps the channel. And besides that, let's get back to the video. Now, the third question. Do you actually need an expensive dumb phone? And I'm gonna be totally honest with you. The answer most certainly is no. This $30 phone will disconnect you just as effectively as a $700 light phone. Calls, text, no social media, no infinite scroll, week-long battery. It even does less than the light phone, which makes it even better at forcing disconnection. This is my no-frills dumb phone. This is my Ryanair, so to speak. It gets me to the same destination. That is digital freedom for a fraction of the price. But let me go even further. You don't even need a separate phone. The phone you already use is perfectly fine for reducing your screen time, and you don't have to buy something new for that. Delete Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, delete or hide the browser, delete email, turn notifications off except for calls and texts, grayscale mode, set app limits, and there you go, you have your free light phone experience. I made lots of videos about that on my channel. But Michael, I don't have the willpower. You could set passwords for apps and give the password to someone else. You could bet $100 with a friend that you don't reinstall Instagram. Put your phone in the drawer at night. Use phone blockers, whatever there is. There are loads of ways to do it. Because here's what the premium dumb phone market doesn't want you to realize. The thing that helps you to disconnect isn't the device. It's the decision. And I've been saying this on the channel for ages. The most important thing you can do if you feel like wasting too much time on your phone is to realize that you want to change something. That decision, that realization is what matters. Everything else flows from that. And look, there are many roads that lead to Rome, or so they say. You don't have to get a dumb phone. You don't have to do anything specific. For some people, dumb phones work great, and all power to them. If you can afford it, fantastic. If not, it may be not sustainable for you, or it doesn't work at all, and that's fine too. You could delete the most annoying apps, install app blockers, notification filters. They work fantastically. They're great free and paid minimal launchers that will dumbify your phone for almost nothing. Or you could just work on your discipline and reduce smartphone habits gradually. The point is, find what works for you. The decision to change is what matters. The method is secondary. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. And if you want to know more about the Punkt phone I mentioned that is so controversial, then make sure to click here on this video and see what it is all about. And besides that, thank you so much for watching and hopefully see you next time. Bye bye.